This is Hawaii Island, often called the Big Island, the youngest and largest of the Hawaiian archipelago. It spans over 4,000 square miles, built from multiple volcanoes, two of which are still active. You can travel from lush rainforests to black sand beaches to lava fields and craters, all on one island. Join me as I wander through its raw landscapes, shifting climates, and hidden magic. Hi everyone and welcome back to this channel. I just came back from adventuring in Hawaii, and in this video I wanted to share some highlights from my trip. Hawaii is a very popular destination, however it was not on my bucket list until recently. Until I learned that Hawaii actually has not one but two national parks. You know, boy, I love exploring national parks here in the US, so I got really hooked. Also, at the time, I had just learned how to swim and even started trying out surfing here in LA. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it would be really amazing to try surfing somewhere with warmer water, like in Hawaii. So that was yet another reason why I got really curious about Hawaii. I knew that it's an expensive destination, but anyway, earlier this year I decided to book a trip to the Big Island. I chose the Big Island because it is said to be the best island for adventurers. It offers diverse nature. There are waterfalls, jungle, lava fields, lava tubes. There's beaches so you can swim and snorkel, and I'm that type of girl. I like active vacation and I like exploring, getting out there and all that kind of jazz. So naturally I got very curious about this particular island, and secretly I was also hoping I would witness a volcanic eruption. In this video I want to look back and reflect on this experience, on this adventure. By the end of it, I want to have a conclusion. Was it worth it? Is it worth the money that I spent? Let's get started. Here's something you need to know about me. I love nature. I love exploring nature. I like hiking and doing different kind of outdoors activities. But I'm someone who's more impressed usually by desert views and canyons. So I really had no expectations when I was going to Hawaii. I know a lot of people say that it is beautiful. I know people who are obsessed with Hawaii. However, I was never too, attracted by jungle and this kind of nature. So I really had zero expectations. And when I first landed in Kīlauea, Kona, I was not really impressed with what I saw from the airplane and when I just got out of the airport. However, I spent 7 days on the island and I was able to see quite a lot. I drove pretty much throughout the whole island. I was taken aback by the diversity. Let's start with the volcanoes. Well, there are multiple volcanoes and two of them are active. Half of the trip I actually lived in Volcano Village, which is a village very close to the national park and to the volcanoes themselves. The most amazing thing that happened to me during the trip is that I was actually able to see a volcanic eruption. That was so random. Yes, it was one of my lifetime dreams to see volcanic eruption. However, it is really hard, to plan a trip in advance and time it in a way that you get to see it because it is not as predictable. I knew that there was some volcanic activity at the time when I was going, but nothing was promised, nothing was for sure. I did not know that the eruption would happen. That was the most humbling experience. But even without the eruption, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park was a lot of fun. I got to hike Kīlauea crater. That was insane. When I went, it was raining. It did not stop me. I knew that it could rain, but the scenery was absolutely crazy. Well, I got all wet. I would even say soaked, but it was totally 100% worth it. Also, I got to explore lava tubes, and I actually learned that lava does not only flow on the surface but also underneath, and that's how it actually gets to the ocean in that area, and that was fun to learn and fun to explore. Lava flowing to the shore is how you get black sand beaches, which are absolutely insane. I got to see one of those on my way from Kīlauea Kona airport to my Airbnb in Volcano. That was one of the stops that I did to stretch my legs, and that was absolutely amazing. Another highlight was a botanical garden near Hilo. Hilo is another, I would say, big town that the Big Island has, and the botanical garden had so many different flowers, so many different trees. Nature on the Big Island is insane, and for me it's 10 out of 10. I tried to book different activities so I could experience everything, you know, volcanoes, jungle, ocean. I cannot even tell you which one was the most epic. Me snorkeling for the first time, me surfing, or me hiking a volcano. Honestly, my favorite was probably hiking the volcano and seeing the crater and the lava field. I also went on a tour with a local. She told me more about Hawaii, history, culture, geography, and her own experience living on the island. She showed me an amazing spot for watching the active volcano, and she was actually the one to message me to let me know that that volcano that we just saw together the other night is erupting. Now snorkeling. That was my first time snorkeling ever, and really swimming in the ocean too. And I'm a new swimmer. I was afraid of water and of swimming for most of my life, and I even had an accident. But a year ago, I learned how to swim in a local pool with a trainer, with an instructor who taught me different techniques and just like got me really comfortable being in the water. So when I was planning the trip, I was like, well, snorkeling, that sounds fun. Yeah, I'll book that. But when I actually came to the meeting spot, I started realizing that, well, I actually have no snorkeling experience, so I have no experience breathing through the tube, through the straw of the mask. I have no ocean experience, no ocean swimming experience, and I'm really not that strong of a swimmer. Maybe in the pool, yeah, but again, not in the ocean. It's not the same thing. And I just started really getting a more realistic idea of what I got myself into, and I started freaking out. To be honest, I did not show it because I was with an instructor and I just did not want her to also be nervous about me. It ended up being an amazing experience. It was not that hard at all. I actually felt comfortable with the mask and with my head down than just swimming without anything. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of the deep water, and we did go a little bit further than I expected, but I was still fine without a life vest. We then went to another spot and I did get a life vest just, you know, to completely relax. But yeah, that was amazing. I swam with the turtle just side by side right here and I saw a lot of different fish that I have no idea how to name, so do not ask me. However, I do think that I like being on the water a little bit more than being under it, so surfing was more my thing than anything. I tried surfing a couple of times here in LA, but we did not really go deep. When we came to the meeting spot with our instructor, I realized that we were not gonna, you know, swim near the shore because the shore is really rocky and we were gonna go really deep. That's when I started freaking out a little bit because, again, I am not a big fan of the deep water, but I relaxed pretty fast and easily. I don't know, it's just something about knowing that your board is attached to you and it's always there, and all you need if you fall or if you jump into water, all you really need is to relax and just float on your back and, you know, find your board and get back on. I really enjoyed it. I was able to stand up so many times and just, you know, surf. I need to do more of that. I always like to add some cultural activities, such as going to museums and learning more about history and culture of the place that I'm visiting. This time was no different. I also stopped at Lapakahi State Historic Park to learn a little bit more about how people lived on the island before, like 200 years ago or even earlier. And also I booked a Waipio Valley tour. It has an amazing scenic view, one of the most popular views of the Big Island. But to get to the valley itself, you actually need to book a tour. So they do not allow people to drive the road that leads there because it's too steep and it really gets crazy. The valley itself is beautiful. There are people who live there and they live completely out of grid. They grow things and I don't really know what else people do without internet. But it was fun to go there, drive through the river, see the wild horses, learn a little bit more about the place in general. So I think this is not the most popular island when it comes to like resorts and beach kind of vacation. I just do not like to go to the beach and just like stay there. I do not like to be exposed to sun for no good reason, like no snorkeling, no surfing, just swimming in the ocean. I did go to one white sand beach. It was amazing, but also my standards may not be that high when it comes to that. But a lot of beaches in Kīlauea, Kona, and Hilo that I saw were kind of rocky, and that looks beautiful. To me, it looks even more beautiful than a white sand beach. Okay, really here I'm on the fence because I tried a lot of different things. A lot of different restaurants, local spots, local food trucks, and I'm gonna say food experience for me here was really 50-50. I did enjoy poke, I also liked sushi, but everything else, a lot of things that I tried were kind of like greasy, had a lot of fat, and even when I tried to opt for healthier options like a salad with the shrimp was fried in a way that felt a little bit heavier than it would usually feel like to me. So that was good, but also not something that I would usually eat. To conclude this part, I want to say that probably the most epic part of the trip was witnessing a volcanic eruption. This is something that is so hard to plan for, and I got incredibly lucky, and I am so grateful for that. Also surfing, that was a lot of fun. And well, I hope that I will get to surf a little bit more my next time in Hawaii. I don't know when it happens, but I hope it will. Snorkeling was quite epic too, you know, snorkeling, being it my first time snorkeling and swimming with the turtle and with other fish. That was quite epic too. And my favorite hike, the crater, was something that's my Roman Empire. That's something I keep thinking about. Kīlauea crater. That hike was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely worth it. That was one of my favorite trips. I was so sad to leave on the day of my flight back. You cannot imagine. And the thing is, there isn't a single thing that I can say that I'm gonna miss. It's just the whole thing, the whole lifestyle, the whole vibe, the ocean, the nature, the activities, things that you can do there. It was absolutely worth it, and I hope I'm gonna be back in Hawaii soon. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like it if you think that I was able to share some of its beauty and some of its vibe with you through this video. Let me know in the comments if you ever went to Hawaii or if you want to visit it anytime in future. Subscribe to my channel for more language, life, and travel content, and I hope I will catch you in my next video. Bye!